Welcome to the Save Our Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
I'm drinking. Dominic. Derek, it's not drinking, unfortunately. I got
I'm
for
Celsius
the
tonight.
visual listeners, I got my big bottle of Cincoro because this is a very special episode, so it deserved a very special bottle of tequila, even though it's not the best tequila ever. But listen, it's Michael Jordan's tequila, and we have arguably the Michael Jordan of apparel in Don.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Listen, man, if you weren't so dark, you'd be blushing. I know it.
Well, anyway,
speechless moments.
Yeah. This is episode 178, and we have a very special guest joining us today, as Dom had mentioned. We're pumped to welcome Don, the founder of Kingsmen Golf, an awesome apparel brand that's making serious waves in the golf space. We're excited to hear about the inspiration behind Kingsmen Golf, how it all started, and what's coming next for the brand. Don, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
I couldn't be more happy to hang out with you guys. And this is, probably the place we would be kicking it in person if we were in San Diego. We would be at the Agave Bar over here in Old Town doing this in person. So first and foremost, salute to you guys for having us on, doing what you do. Cheers.
Absolutely. I do want to ask you something, because I didn't know this, and I don't know if you want to talk about it, but if you do, I'd love to hear it. But I had no idea that you're an author.
I am an author.
You've written a book, and we need a copy of that book signed ASAP. I mean, I'd definitely love to read it. So if I order it, I need you to sign and send it off to me. What do you want to talk about that a little bit? I think that's so cool. I didn't even realize.
So you laugh about it, but we have authors email us all the time. And by the email us, I mean me. And I'm like, hey, Derek loves books. Derek loves to read those books. Can we have that book signed? And every author's been like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I never know where we're going to start, because there's a lot of places we can kick things off. I didn't know where we were going to go there. So that caught me off guard in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I haven't talked about the book in like 2 years, right?
Well,
Not
I'm
because
glad I brought it up.
love to. I'm happy you brought it up, because this is just another signal that I need to get some author copies printed.
Absolutely. We can help.
Yeah,
help you
get
out.
2 copies printed and then sign them, because I'll definitely have them on my bookshelf. I know we were just sent some books, and I have them. Derek does not have it yet, but we enjoy having authors on, and it's fun to hear people's point of view. And I don't remember if it's about golf or just life with you, or might be business, because you and I have talked a lot about business and fashion and stuff like that. But I've known about the book. I always forget about the book because you and I always talk about golf and fashion and stuff like that. But Derek, book nerd, loves to read books.
I never did growing up. I hated books. Now the older I've gotten,
you fell in love with it later in life.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Usually the opposite. It's like people love books when they were like young, like fantasy books or whatever it is, and then they get older and it just falls away. So you don't usually hear the opposite, though. Like you've fallen in love with, like, you get the actual tangible books, or do you audible, or what's your medium?
So it's funny. I give my brother crap all the time, because he's a big because he drives a lot, travels a lot, flies a lot, right? So he does the audible book, and then he buys the physical copy. So I'm always telling him, like, oh, so you listen to the book, you didn't read the book. Just give him crap about it, but I do buy the physical copy, and I actually read it. I just absorb it differently. I have to have the physical copy in my hands.
I love books. In fact, here, I'll tie it to golf, and then we can jump back to Superhuman by Design. Yeah. That's the title of the book, right? But Ben Hogan's, the 5 Lessons of Golf, right? I love that book, mostly because of the illustrations. And I actually got the physical copy of the book, not the PDF or whatever. I had to get the physical copy of the book because I love the illustrations just that much. So I have earmarked the crap out of that thing. It, honestly hasn't revolutionized my game, but I could say, I've done like every other golfer in the last 5 years and probably put that book back to top 1,000 on Amazon at some point, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, I feel like it's the very tangible nature of flipping through a page and seeing an illustration or a drawing. I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid, I feel like that's how I absorb stuff. It's probably because back. Okay, here we go. We're dating ourselves already. Like, I mean, I still grew up in the encyclopedia era, right? Like, there was still like, you got to go look something up, and there's pictures and words, and maybe you can't read, but like, you got the pictures. That's how I grew up. So that's still very much fundamentally how I take in like information.
Sure. Oh, that makes sense.
So my best friend, her name's Maddie, and she loves to read books so much that she actually started her own Instagram page to where she'll read a book and then review it.
Wow.
And it's
commitment.
And it was something that she, similar to Derek, she's my age. Okay. Derek's not my age. I don't know if that's well known or not. But she picked up 18. Reading kind of later on.
That's why I'm drinking a Celsius.
And she was like, I love to read, but she likes to read kind of horror books and like suspenseful books and stuff like that. It's very her. So what she'll do is she'll read it and then write about it on her Instagram and then rate it. And then she has people who follow her and everything.
And she's built an entire following off of this.
Yeah, it's not a big following yet, but it's something that she enjoys doing. And it doesn't have to be a big following as long as she has fun and does it. So for her birthday, she doesn't listen, which is perfect. So I bought her, it's called The Reformatory. And it's a book based on true events, and it scares the shit out of me. And then in case she doesn't like it.
There's a lot of pages in there. The cover, I'm already nervous just off the cover.
Yeah, and then in case she doesn't like it, I got her a gift card to Barnes & Noble so she can get whatever the hell she wants.
And
that's like incredible.
But it's a pretty hefty book. It seems scary.
How long ago reviewed?
Here's the thing about books that blows me away. When you actually have someone who writes more than one book, that's what blows me away, because I felt like when I got ready to put the book together, it would be in some ways like, how do I put it? Like a pretty straightforward process. Like, getting from like, okay, I have these thoughts I want to put on paper. I feel like they're worthwhile. Put them out in the world. And what came back to me, by the way, that's probably the tequila already getting me a little bit. So there's going to be some slurred words in here for the audience.
It's okay. I'm ready to. I might down this and pour another one.
But here's the wild thing. It's like I wrote a bunch of stuff, right? And then I go to the publisher because I self-published the book, and they come back to me and they're like, "It's a little thin," as in like you don't have a lot.
Not enough pages.
I thought I had filled up like one of those legal pads, like, and I'm like, let's go. I got a book. I got something to say. And came back and was like, hey, a third of this is probably usable. And when we put it in a Word doc, it's probably like 15 pages. So they're like, that's more than likely an intro. And I'm just like, okay. But it's 2020. We don't like to talk about that year. But the reality is I was inside a lot. Yep. And for about 3 or 4 months, I just became absolutely determined to put something out there that I felt was going to help the world. That's where I was then. And so I feel like it's almost like an EP, right? It's not quite a full album, but you want to put something out there as an artist, which I think the book comes more from me being an artist at heart than an author. You become an author because, people will give you that title once you publish something.
Sure.
The reality is I'm an artist who decided I have something I want to put into the world, and it's going to manifest in a book because I can't sing and I can't put beats together as much as I love to listen to music. But it showed up in word because for the longest time, the book has been my medium. That's been my go-to. And I don't read a ton. I wish I read more. But I read enough where it's like, I know if you can get somebody for even like 10 minutes with like written word, it sticks with you, and it sticks with you in a way that like, I don't know, you can come back to it, maybe even more so than sometimes a picture, right? Like a picture will give you 1,000 words and you may remember it, but you probably will associate it with a bunch of other stuff. But if somebody says something to you, like a phrase, that stuff lives on, man. Just like when someone says something kind of hurtful and it lasts for like a long time, like words are deep like that. So yeah, I just tried to write something that I felt was really good for the world, and it came from me being an artist.
And you over a couple thousand copies, correct?
We did, yeah. It was a few thousand copies that we sold. And
that's incredible.
It was probably to date, we're somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 copies sold. So
that's amazing.
It was crazy because the first day we went live on Amazon, honestly, I still can't believe it. I came back and there were like 480 something copies sold. And I don't know exactly how. I don't know if that was just like demand from like Amazon to have inventory in stock, or like Barnes and Nobles to have it in stock. But we sold a lot of books, for me, for a self-published author who nobody knows. Yeah. The proudest moment for me was probably when we hit like the top 100 for like new books in the creativity category on Amazon, which was like, you're up there with like people who like, I mean, they're icons and they're dropping books that, they of course become best sellers, like
sellers, sure.
New York Times bestsellers. Meanwhile, it was like I was there for like the day, but it was a glorious day.
That's amazing, man. That's so. I'm so proud of you. That is so cool.
Thank you.
Writing, like you'd mentioned, writing a book, honestly, from other authors that I've heard too, as far as like listening to it more or less, not necessarily having like interviews or conversation directly with them, but they will say that is one of the hardest things because there's so much that goes into it. And there's so many drafts, right? Same thing. Like I have this thing, I want to put it on paper. I do. And then all of a sudden a third of it's really, really good, but you also are going to have to go back and switch some things up. And then it could take a couple of years to really put out a final copy. And then obviously there's a lot of costs that go into that as well. So good for you, man. That's awesome. And I just wanted to bring it up. So hopefully you didn't mind that I brought it up, because I'm like, that's so impressive. You have such a great brand, and we'll transition and talk about Kingsmen Golf, obviously, but I think that's very impressive.
Honestly, this is the perfect like way to transition to Kingsmen. Because that book like challenged me. Like it's kind of like one of those things. So if you say you're going to do something, or you're going to say like you're going to be about something, and then like later on, it was like, well, why am I not doing this? Like I actually should try to live this, what I wrote about, which is being as creative as possible. Like I talk about this thing, 3 C's of creativity. And that involves like being conscious, like building connections, like what we have. And then eventually, like now I'm becoming part of the community. I mean, in this case, it's hopefully the golf community and beyond. But like the foundation of that book was like a bit of transformation, self-transformation, but by way of creativity. So like stir this inner creative person in you, because we all have it. And if you can kind of build it and you know how to build it, you can go about like maybe designing something that you really want to see come to life. And so the book actually, in a way, it's like very foundation to like Kingsmen Golf, because people are like, well, how the heck are you doing anything in golf? Right? Like people who aren't in golf, people who are in golf, they're all like, how are you in this? Where did this come from, dude? And it's like, I think maybe a part of it came from writing the book and just being like, you know what? I guess I do need to do more with my life. Sure. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, guys. That's
yeah, absolutely. No, that's great.
That's from the heart.
And so obviously we got to meet at the shindig, so it was awesome to
love the shindig.
And I can't wait to see you again. Obviously, Dom,
anybody
we got to come visit you.
This episode who has got this far, who has bared with us through some tequila so far and the book, please come to the shindig. If you drop off like right here, just know I told you the shindig is it.
We had a
commercial. We're done.
Yeah, we had an absolute blast. It was so good meeting you. Can you tell us? I mean, obviously you kind of had a good segue with that, but can you tell us the inspiration behind Kingsmen Golf and how it all started?
Yeah, I will tell you first and foremost, it started with my love of golf. Like all of a sudden, after being somebody who had no interest in golf really over the years, to the first moment that I'm playing with friends who happen to be good, one of them for sure, which was in 2021. And we're playing, fortunately, somewhere outside of the US where it's like you get exposed to all aspects of golf. You get exposed to the possibility of being in such a beautiful context and just the lifestyle aspect, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little later, not just the game of golf.
Yep.
I came back and I was like, you know what? I want to get good at this game. I love it. It feels challenging and interesting. And it was probably the one thing that I discovered in the last like several years that just like kept kind of showing up all over the place. Other people I knew were getting into it 2 years ago who didn't have any background in golf, right? I would consider them first generational golfers. Mm-hmm. And they were into the game too. They were into improving, they were into the equipment, the apparel, all of that. So I would say foundationally, Kingsman still comes from like, I love golf. Like I literally would love to do nothing more some days than just going out and playing an amazing round of golf, right? That's part of it. I think the other part of Kingsman comes from the place of maybe reinvention. With some of that is the self-transformation, even in the book, Derek, where it's like, if I want to see myself in a context where I'm unfamiliar, the thing I'm searching for first is confidence. Like I have to feel confident enough to show up in a place or a context where maybe I don't see myself that reflected sometimes in order to experience transformation. And I'm a big like fan of that, where it's like, how do I help myself feel confident to come into a context where I have no familiarity? And so I'm looking for a brand, looking for basically a hero to be like, hey, you're not a lifetime golfer, right? You didn't grow up with the clubs in your hand, like no judgment, but it's like, you don't know anything. You don't even know about a golf club, dude. Like, what are you doing? And it's like, I would show up in these environments to shop and people are just like dismissive, or they're just kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, just spend some money and like, we don't care. And I'm just like, okay, that sucks, because I feel really confident and successful in other aspects of my life. Like, why is it with golf that like I have to not feel confident? It's like, fine, I can suck. I can not know this game or whatever, but like, why do I have to feel like not confident? Like, why doesn't anybody just come alongside me and say, yeah, dude, like you didn't grow up playing golf or, whatever, but we're here for you. Let's just be a part of your journey. So from that came this idea of like all the Kingsmen, right? So it's like, all right, maybe you didn't grow up with commercial real estate, maybe you didn't grow up seeing entrepreneurs like go out and start $1 million companies. Maybe you even grow up with someone getting like an education and it's like, okay, I'm going to go and do this. Well, the moment you go and do this, right, like you alienate like everybody because like nobody else around you did it. So it's like, it's hard to be a trailblazer. So you need somebody to like make you feel confident. So for me, it was like, I'm going to start a brand where I feel confident in golf so I can get everything I want out of golf, right? That's the founder affinity. And then from that, like came the patterns, the designs, the artists, the designer. And we're fortunate that at least a couple people started saying like, yeah, this is dope. I love this. Like, I don't know who you are, but I like what you're doing. That's how it started.
So we had media day for the 3M Open a couple weeks ago. And like head to toe, I had Kingsman gear on. The socks were Kingsman. I had my forest green Kingsman polo on.
I'm proud of you, Dom, for that. I saw that.
And the reason I wore it was because I had to pour a new glass, so I got a different one.
Me too. We're good.
But the reason I wore it was because I remember our first conversation where it's like, hey, it's meant to make you feel sexy. It's meant to make you feel confident. It's meant, you put it on and you want to feel confident in it. There's a clip of me that we put in our teaser for the video that comes out pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
And it's me topping my drive off the tee, but damn, I look good. And then you just see the most confident club twirl you have ever seen. Yeah. Ever. And you know what? Kingsman shirt, Kingsman socks. We're at the range, and I was like, Ty, you got to get videos. He goes, dude, I've already been getting you videos and all Kingsman gear. We're going to make you look like a commercial. So I filmed a Kingsman commercial for you for free, essentially. You got to thank our dude Ty
I killed it on that. It's probably the best clip too, because I don't know if you were teeing up. It might have been in the fairway. I think it was like our second shot. Was it?
No, it was off the tee because I had just eaten my burger.
Oh, okay.
So we were doing a little
too. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
So go ahead. You're laughing, but like we had sliders.
This is amazing. Yeah.
And my hands weren't great, and I was like, we're just gonna go hit it because they're like waiting on me.
I know that feeling.
It went like 4 feet off the tee. And then the club twirled, and then I walked away and ate the rest of my burger.
But the club twirl in the Kingsmen polo, I mean, that's it. You got your scepter, and it's like the degree has been made regardless of the situation, and you walk off with like head held high,
like
just like you striked it 310 yards down the fairway.
Yeah.
Like
the issue is Ty caught the ball going like 4 feet to the right. It zooms in on it and then zooms in on me doing the club twirl. And I'm like, Ty, you didn't have to do me like that. Like,
it was beautiful.
Dog.
I loved it.
But then there's another clip that is beautiful. You see all the Kingsman gear on, and then you see me hit the most wicked slice of my life. And then you hear Derek go, at least the backdrop's nice.
That's right. I love that one too. We had a great time.
That's it. Yeah. It's so good.
But I say all that because, obviously at the Shindig, we talked about it and we've talked about it a lot. Yeah. Your brand is one that has to be touched, has to be felt because it truly feels like nothing else on the market, when it comes to like the polos and stuff, because sometimes it feels very like polyestery in terms of shirts. And then sometimes other shirts feel very like that heavy, thick, like 90s kind of cotton. And then yours is like right in between where it still feels soft like cotton, but it's more of
you got it.
Like an athletic textile fit and everything. And you put it on, you're just like, I'm gonna go shoot the worst round of my life, but you know what? I'm gonna have the time of my life. I'm gonna feel confident. I'm gonna feel great. I went home and I was still dry, which was great because it was a hot day, especially once that sun opened up. The moisture wicking was great. I was gonna wear white, but I didn't want to like be blown out. And somehow Derek and I conveniently matched, which was super cute.
You did.
But I honestly, I can't talk about enough. You hit the nail on the head with the name. You just feel sexy in it. You feel confident. I felt royal walking out there, just, green polo, black shorts, Kingsman socks, got my Jordan 4s on. Like it was a day. And then we got Ty out there.
Literally another 10,000 people to say exactly what you said, Dom. And then, who knows what we can do? I mean, all types of amazing things will extend from the it'll be a Shindig week. Full week. One of the sponsors. We don't need a lot of people. Just another 9,000 or so that sound just like Dom right there, Derek. We're good.
We're trying. We're trying.
When you say Shindig week, I was out there for a week and I felt like a Shindig week.
I was gonna say I have I bought the was it the Monarch, the lightweight jacket.
Windbreaker.
Yeah, the windbreaker. And that's something like I wouldn't normally buy, like just off the shelf. But man, when I felt that and I saw it, and I just loved, having the hood zipped up inside. Like I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The feeling of royalty, right? I not to go too far into this, but my theory, and maybe this is what's helped us survive for 2 years, which I would love to talk about that at some point too, just like being a business owner in this space, like trying to navigate. I know we'll get into that. Maybe
I got some questions. Yes, okay, I got some questions for you. Yep.
We still got a lot of juice in here. So those are passion questions. But I guess what I want to say really quickly is I think as a designer, people used to just buy products and the products would give them a feeling, right? Like that's what you've seen kind of like post iPhone, right? Post Amazon. It's like you could get the product, you could get it fast, and it would give you a feeling. But I think the nature of how things are in the economy now, just global economy, is people are just like buying feelings. right? Because there's so many products. It's like, when you look at like golf, there's like a million golf shirts. There's a million windbreakers. Like, why would you buy our windbreaker or our polo? So like, I think if you advertise and you market, you're just like, buy my product, right? Like, yes, there is some of that where you're explaining what the heck the product is, but I personally feel like people buy feeling. Like people buy, like the shindig to me, like the reason I wanted to be there is because it looks like a feeling that I want to be a part of. So I'm going to spend my cash so I can have that feeling, right? Like I already felt it, and I hadn't even met you guys in person yet. Like I'm like running around, I'm all excited. And here comes Derek running up, looking like he just finished a marathon, all fit and in shape, and all this. And then here's Dom, sexy, you know. I'm like, Dom, you're strong, dude. Like, what the heck, you know? Like, you know, I'm thinking like, you know, Dom is like cuddling. I'm like, dude, Dom could like, you know, break my back, dude. It was amazing, and I'm just immediately like excited because I'm in the feeling, right? We've gone from meeting each other like this on a podcast to here we are in person, and I have just this feeling of community. I have this feeling of being in something, a part of something. You know what I mean? So I think today people buy feelings, man, and I think that's what we're trying to do with Kingsmen. It's like we're trying to offer you that feeling, and we want you to like get that feeling.
So I
love that.
So can I show you something real quick?
Please.
It's like right there. I just gotta grab it.
This is why we're on camera.
Yeah. Careful, Dom. Careful, Dom. Don't fall.
Dude, I'm in my room. It's fine. I mean, the issue is if I knock all of these over.
Oh, so all the shoe boxes just go over.
That's a hassle if those get knocked over. But your time was shopping on feeling. One of the days I was in LA, Raul took me shopping, which was an issue. That was a whole thing. And we went down Fairfax, we went down La Brea, we went down like all like the classic LA spots, right? Yeah. So we went to Metalwood, we went to Stussy, Undefeated, you know, all the shops that I love. I ended up buying stuff from Metalwood, Stussy. I didn't buy anything from Stussy, Undefeated. But we went to Carhartt Whip, work in progress. I don't know if you're familiar. So I saw this.
Oh, look at that color.
And I know my camera makes it look really dark. It's like a really light, like rose gold, pink almost. And I touched it, and he's like, "Are you going to try it on?" This is Raul talking. I'm like, I don't know. He told me the price. I'm like, no. Like, I'm on vacation. He goes, "Dude, you touched it and you lit up. And you can't get that at home." Yeah. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it on." And I tried it on, and he goes, "Bro, you just look happy." And I'm like, you know what? Let's buy it. I don't care how expensive it is. So I went home with this hoodie. This one I'm wearing is the same one, just yellow, because I ended up liking this one so much that I'm like, you know, I kind of want another color. And it was a feeling. It was an emotion. I put it on and I was like, I just feel happy. You know, I felt at home, even though we were thousands of miles away in California and LA somewhere. And it's one of those feelings that it's like, it's so hard to like describe to somebody.
Yeah.
Until it happens, right? It's, you know, I was like, I've never really thought about how I shop. And now everything I buy is like, that made me happy. So this hoodie made me happy. Yeah. I love pink. I love rose gold. So for me, it's perfect. And then I'm like, I don't want to wear just one. So I bought a yellow one because I had it on sale. And the yellow makes me happy too, because it's just very vibrant. So Derek, you should start buying things that make you happy instead of black shirts and short shorts.
I love those. They make me happy.
I know you do. Tequila makes me real happy.
Don,
too, so
Don, what was there a moment where you thought like, okay, like, we're on to something here? Was there like that aha moment? Like, I think I have something.
You know, honestly, I don't know if there was a moment where it was like, I got something. In fact, I think there was a moment that surprised me since we last had our first podcast, which was over a year ago. And I think it was the fact that like people weren't buying for the design. They weren't even buying for it. It's kind of what we're talking about. It's like, I thought they were going to buy because nobody had a design like ours. Like, you know, in my mind, I'm sketching something that I can't find in pro shops. and I'm pouring all of my graphic design and product design knowledge into this because it's my product. I'm like, I want to be proud to wear it. I want to sweat in it while I'm trying to like lower my handicap. Like I want to go to sip tequila at a great bar and wear my product. So I'm like, in design world, like it has to be a really great design, and like people are going to love the design. And what surprised me, and I don't even know if it was an aha moment there, but I guess what really started to surprise me was like how people talked about how they felt with Kingsman. And I'm just, I don't even know if we're prepared for that now. Like, I think my business and the brand, it's going through the early stage, like shaping and hiccups and bumps because I wasn't prepared for everybody to like talk about how they feel with the product. I was prepared for like people are like, oh man, that design, like I want that look, right? And it's like there's a little bit of that, but like there's less of that, and there's more about like it feels like this, or I feel like that, and I don't know if it's been progressive or if it was like a moment, but it definitely became more clear this year. Even with the logo, like I mean, one of the reasons we went with like the oversized logo and the new polo, which I felt was so risky, was because people were like, "I can't see the logo. I want it more like in your face, right?" Like it wasn't like we want the colors louder. It was more like I am so happy to have this lion and crown, and I don't want to hide it. Like I was going very like luxury, like old school Ralph Lauren polo, old school Tommy Hilfiger. And I felt like all of our customers were like, I don't want to hide that I'm wearing Kingsman because I feel amazing. And I want everybody to know how happy I am, how I feel, how confident I feel wearing Kingsman. So it was like, all right, well, I'll start designing the logo so that you can't miss them. You know? That's the stuff that surprises me. I could have never predicted that when we were first getting to know each other like over a year ago.
Sure. What since we've had that conversation, what are some of like the biggest challenges they've faced so far?
So before you answer that, Don, I don't know.
I think before I answer that.
Yeah. So I think I mean, obviously I got laid off. That's not new news to anybody, but working in the field I was in, my favorite thing was when companies would take customer feedback to heart.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, who are you without your customers, right? You know, the really successful companies are the ones who say, okay, what do the people who are wearing our products, what do the people who are buying our products think of them? And how can we improve it or make it better to cater to them, right? You look at brands like Nike and they don't have to because they're $1 trillion company. You look at brands like Under Armour, Reebok, they don't have to either. But working in the running industry that I was in, you look at brands like Hoka, like Brooks, like Asics, and the brands in running that have been doing really well are the ones like Brooks. Brooks is the number one. They run everything. And that is because they say, hey, what do we do well with? And then how can we improve it? And every year the customers are always like, hey, we like this, but this could do better. And every year that is the change that they make. And every year the customer goes, wow, they actually made the change to make the product better than I liked. And obviously there's going to be those people who go, wow, I don't like that. You know, there's always double-edged sword, give and take, right? Like there's going to be people who don't like how big the lion is.
Yeah, I love
it. But I like it too. It looks sick. But there's something beautiful about you saying, hey, I can do that. Let's try it and see what happens. Because a lot of companies are like, you know what, that's not our thing. We're going to keep doing the minimal stuff, which is fine. But I think golf is one of those things that I don't want to say you need to take risks. But I don't know too many companies that take customer feedback like that. So it's very beautiful to hear you say, hey, I had a lot of feedback on this. Let's adjust it and let's just do a little trial run. Wow. Because ultimately, if it doesn't work out, guess what? You can make that logo smaller and it, go back to normal. But kudos to you for doing that. I don't want to say taking that risk, but there's a lot of companies that would not even dream of that.
That's a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk. Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, we don't know, right? Like, I mean, a year from now, it could be a different story. So you're 100% right. I won't even deny that to everybody who's listening. Like, it's a straight up risk every time I make a design decision because we're a startup. So if it doesn't resonate, then, we're sitting on 1,000 pizzas maybe, right? And as a small company, I know that could it sinks brands. So it is a risk. And I think that's part of the challenge, right, Derek? What you're asking, like one of the challenges is there's a few challenges. One of them though is like understanding customers within the community that we're building, right? Because the thing is, I guess the thing to share with everybody that would be interesting about this story so far is that just because you're a customer doesn't necessarily mean that we can like highlight that individual for their input. So it's like a fine line that we walk where it's like you want to respect every customer, their input. Hey, make the logo larger, make it smaller, put it here, put it there. But at the end of the day, like we're still trying to find our way as a company to serve a lot of people and serve like a bigger audience. And so I think part of the challenge is like not sweating nearly as much as I would want for every single customer. It's like it's just not doable because you also wreck the company that way, right? If one customer with crazy comments on Instagram just really wants to get after your page, or you got somebody who's like, hey, I should have got $1 million because I told you to put the logo here or whatever. He's saying like, no one's done that, but like, you can sweat it as far as possible. And then it's like at this stage in the company, we also have to move on. And so I think that's a challenge. I also think one of the challenges is starting to figure out like, how do we tell a story about feel, right? Because we're clearly swiping through stuff in 3 seconds, right? That's how our brains are kind of getting shaped right now. So this
wired that way.
Yep. Exactly. This person looks like a golfer. They're wearing this brand. So, okay, this person's an athlete. They're wearing this brand. Okay. So we're like making judgments like at under 3 seconds. There's just judgments about everything. But what do you do when like you're creating a product that gives people a feel and all these people look different? And I think that's where it gets really challenging is because like Garrett, you are you with your lifestyle. You put on the windbreaker, you feel confident. Dom is Dom. He puts on a polo, he feels confident. Two different guys, two different, styles, both enjoying the game. And people may say, well, I prefer Derek's look or I prefer Dom's look. And all of a sudden people are like, oh, I'm trying to like figure out what Kingsman is for. Like, who is that for? Is it for the black golfer? Is it for this type of black golfer? Can like white guys wear it? Can these guys wear it who aren't athletic? Or this guy seems to be overweight and he's wearing it. And it's just like the DMs are like lots of like, you should have these people wearing, this people wearing. And I'm just like, all right, I'm trying to build a brand where like, yes, you look great, right? Yes, there is an outward appearance that we're talking about. But what we're getting at is this feeling of confidence, this feeling you have no matter who you are. And that's really tough in the golf space because of the fact that we are so tied to visually, this golfer is wearing this brand and it should look like this. And I'm going to only wear like this brand because it makes me think, right? Like I'm looking like this person over here versus if I wear this brand, they're going to think this about me. I'm like, just be who you are. Like, just literally be who you are. If you are this person and that person, you guys are both wearing something that makes you feel that way, guess what that makes you? A fan. It makes you a community. Maybe you're like a freaking fan of a sports scene, right? You get 60, 70,000 people that show up at the Ohio State or at, a Raiders Nation. Like none of these people have similar lives per se down to the detail, but they're all fans because guess what? I feel a way with the Ohio State and I grew up in like Wyoming, right? I feel a way and I live in like freaking, I don't know, who knows, somewhere in the middle of like Hawaii, but I'm part of Raider Nation. Like we're doing something in golf that like, to me is being done very well in other sports, NFL, NBA, but like when it comes to golf, it's like, oh my God, this person looks like they're overweight and they're wearing your shirt. And I'm like, yeah, they're a badass, or this person doesn't have a great golf swing. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. It's probably the tequila, but it's like, who cares? Who cares? And I'm like, if you care about that, there's about 300 brands for you to go and buy and be like, hi, I'm trendy and cute. Please like me on the golf course because I'm wearing the latest thing that this blogger told me to wear. I'm like, great, that's fine. That's just not how I roll, dude. Like, how I roll is everybody kind of has this shared feeling, and it doesn't matter how you look. It really doesn't. This is music, right? Like if you're feeling, this artist, if you're feeling hip hop, if you're feeling it, how do you feel? You show me how you feel, and we're not worried about this. You know what I mean? You show me you're feeling that music, and for the most part, the community will embrace you. The challenge for us, and I'm really long-winded on this, that's not been our experience in golf. It's not been our experience at all. It's been straight up like, this is how you look, so you should be like wearing this brand. I'm breaking that. We're breaking that, or we're going out of business.
I really hate that you said Ohio State and then the Raiders, because Greg is going to go absolutely ape shit.
I went deep. I cut deep there.
Greg loves Ohio State, and that's going to piss me off that he's going to message me and go, Ohio State. And then I hate that you said the Raiders, because above my desk, I have a gorgeous picture of Deebo Samuel taken by my guy, Daniel Alvarez, who you met, right above my desk. So every time I look up, I see Deebo. Even though he's not on the Niners anymore, that's my team. But I like that you resonated with the music and all of that. I went to the Weeknd concert about a month ago, and I've had tickets to see him 2 other times and haven't been able to make it just with COVID, shut everything down. And then I had tickets to see him in Tampa, Florida, and then some family issues came into play, so we didn't go. But Derek knows the amount of Weeknd t-shirts I have in my closet. Stupid. All the records that you can kind of see sticking out of the shelf, those are all from the Weeknd. Big fan. There's the magnet on my fridge of Kay and I at the Weeknd. Like,
show me your tattoo. Show me your tattoo. I'm just kidding.
For those of you listening, I don't have any tattoos. I'm the one in the family who doesn't have any tattoos. I'm the oddball.
I was really hoping that you had like a Weeknd tattoo. Thought you got some tequila. I
got a big XO.
I just want them to keep flashing Kingsmen red.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, honestly, I feel like that's been the highlight. Like, this is amazing episode part 2 of us getting together. But the Kingsmen flash,
Flash. That's Dom's nickname now. The Kingsmen Flash.
But I love that you brought up music, because to me, music and golf are very similar. People have very strong opinions about both, right? Like, there are people who, we have a pretty big group chat. I'm like, oh man, I love the Weeknd. I'm going to go see him. And then some of the guys are like, why isn't he for chicks? He doesn't make club music. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't be in clubs. I don't do that. And sometimes I just want to cry. I cried at the show. When he did call out my name. Tears.
So we're going back to feelings, right? Feelings.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. House of Balloons, I heard for the first time and probably last time live. Tears. Crying. Been a fan since 2011. Love that man. But with golf, I feel like now we're starting to get into a place where people are trying to resonate with certain things that make them feel a certain way. I think that's where Liv is doing something really interesting with the teams, because now it's like, like my favorite player is Bubba Watson, and that Bubba's been my favorite for a long time.
Yeah.
And now that Bubba has a team, I'm like, I kind of feel like I resonate with that team in a sense, right? Or the Yard Goats. And they liked a couple of our posts, and I geeked out. I told Derek, I'm like,
is it the Yard Goats or is it the Field Goats or the Yard Goats? Is it the Yard Goats?
I think it's the Yard Goats.
Let me fact check that real quick.
Okay, fact check me.
Yeah.
But
I love that, John.
But because I think that's like something Liv is doing really well. They're making it a place where people can be like, hey, my favorite player is Dustin Johnson. Well, cool. That means I can be a fan of this team.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. But
okay, so not to interrupt you. Range Goats.
Range Goats.
Fuck.
We're both wrong.
Okay, there we go.
It's okay.
Oh, I got baseball in my mind with the All-Star game
hit
going
us
on.
up, Dom, after this. They may hit, they may be listening. You never know. So we got to get it right.
And they're gonna go, God, he's a fucking idiot. He got the name wrong. I got baseball in my mind with the All-Star game going on. But I think that's where golf is really interesting right now, because now we're having this emergence of these teams coming, and you're like, I really resonate 100%. With Dustin Johnson's team, or 100%. I think 100%. Joaquin Neiman's on Live. You may love Joaquin Neiman, and
he is.
I think that's really, really interesting right now. And then you could buy their merchandise now, so it's like you could buy a Range Goats polo if you wanted or whatever. And over the last year, I think I've mentioned it a couple times, but I've made a conscious effort to only wear brands or clothing that I resonate with and that resonate with Derek and I, or have worked with Derek and I in a very positive way, and that we have relationships with. So every time I play golf, like 9 times out of 10, it's been like a Kingsman polo, or like a Two Friends golf polo, or when we played Tierra Rajada, I had Brooke with Smoke Show Golf polo. I had my floral one on, and Brooke was over the moon that I was wearing that shirt. Like, Brendan sent her a picture and she texted me. She was so happy. Yeah. So that's what I've been wearing a lot of, and you mentioned, some people are going to like the jacket. Some people are going to like the polo. Well, guess what? If you like the in-between, Derek and I love the quarter zips.
Yeah, we got a couple of those.
Yeah. Derek has
Don,
both colors.
Don, I was going to ask you, are you going to release any of the items that you've sold out on? Like, for example, like Don had mentioned, I like, black polos, black shirts. I got to get my hands on the Jet polo and on a large. Are you going to re-release any of those? I need to get one.
Yeah, Derek is all black everything.
We're working on something that could be monumental for us, which is and man, you're everybody who's listening, they're getting everything right now. We're just, the tequila's got us talking. Wouldn't it be wonderful if it was like a Kingsman, like Pebble Beach, Kingsman, Torrey Pines. It's cool to get like a Kingsman polo, but I think the moment we partner with some of the courses that really become the hero courses for all of us as golfers, meaning like you can play it, like you can show up if you got the cash, if you got the connections, and it could still be an amazing moment, kind of like going to the Super Bowl or the All-Star game or NBA championships. Like, you can go play this course. It's not like, if you have the cash, if there's an opportunity, you can go do it. And I just like the access, right? Like, I think I don't want to get too far down this road, but like the worst feeling is you have the ability to do so, but the access is still denied. That's a part of the brand too. It gets gritty. We won't dive into that right away, but I'll just say, like, I like the thought of having some of the products that we continue to produce, like the Jet keeps selling out. That's the all black mountain. It's been our best seller. Yeah. Perhaps partnering with the right place, the right people to elevate that particular product so that it makes sense to continue to be evergreen. Because when I released our mock neck polo, it was intended to be seasonal. Like the 18 collection was intended to be these 18 polos. You get them, we make 300-400 as we continue to grow them, and we make 1,000. And once they're gone, they're gone. And the idea of like, I want you to have something special. I want you to understand, like, that season you did this, right? It's like the jerseys, right? When you think about certain players, like that year, that season, they did this, and you got that jersey, right? When it comes to golf polos, no one cares. It's like, oh, that polo, except for the Tiger Woods red polo, which we did our version of a championship tour red polo. Other than that, it's like, it was just it was the shirt you happen to have a great round in. Like that, to me, that's the thing that bothers me the most. It's like, it could be like, what if today is the day that you do something that creates an incredible legacy, and maybe you're just wearing something random, right? Like, that's the day you get the photograph and you're wearing like whatever polo, right? So for the rest of your life and for generations after you that maybe talk about that day you won, here it is, you're wearing something that you don't even love, something you didn't even put intention into. And I'm like, that it can't work that way. It's like you never know who you're going to meet. You never know how you're going to play. So my idea was like these 18 shirts in the 18 collection have to be special. Now the challenge, going back to your question about challenges, Derek, early stage company, like we can't do that, right? Like we probably should have continued to produce these polos because as we get bigger and bigger, we get more fans, more followers. People are like, oh, I really want that shirt. And I'm like, oh, we've been sold out for like months. Yep. And I feel like we have to find a way to have evergreen while at the same time respecting one of the core aspects of the brand, which is like there's a seasonality to your legacy. Like we don't have forever to do something really great. You have these moments, and literally you can maybe take the opportunity to do something great in that moment, or maybe not. But like those are your moments. So I don't want to lose that like type of like now we just dropped this polo. We got like X number of pieces out there, and I'm telling people like, don't wait. Like if you can afford to buy it, like take that polo now because it's special. Don't wait like 6 weeks from now and like, hey, where's that polo? It's like the people who are buying it, they get that, right? Just like a pair of shoes, right? So again, I think what we're doing is we're bringing something to golf nobody else is doing. No one's bringing that type of aggressiveness to seasonality, that type of limited edition to something special. You got to look at like accessories. You got to look at like Scotty Cameron with putters. You got to look at shoes. No one is doing that in the apparel space. Nobody, not even close, right? Nothing where it's like you can feel that you have something that's going to be special and, could be a story. But we will have that black polo coming back. How it does and when, it's just a matter of time. It's not an if, it's just a when.
When, sure. And I was going to ask you, kind of mentioned, highlighted two of the other pieces. So obviously the new polo that you have right there, that's the nightcap, correct? Which is kind of what we're doing, a nightcap.
God, it's sexy. I love, you and I know, I love purple.
I know you do. We had a royal purple, and then I came back with this. Yeah, can you show it, Dom, so everybody can see?
I'll find it.
Because people are like the purple shirt. This is a lavender base, but it's
the beauty of being in my bedroom is I know everything else.
There it is. So you can see our royal. That was our royal purple royale is what we call it. But that's a royal purple color with a gold. I came back. Nightcap to me is like it's just got that rich, like what I call eclipse. It's like a deep, almost indigo color for the logo and the trim. And then it's lavender. So it's like a little bit of this like lighter kind of a garnish on your drink, if you will. Right. So we've just been hanging out. This is literally what I would have wore at the end of the first day of the shindig. Right. Like we play around, we're kicking back. I've changed from my all black polo to like, now we're doing this. And it feels right. It just makes sense.
That's amazing. And can you tell us a little bit about the 18 collection?
Yeah. So with the 18 collection, I wanted to stick with the signature mock neck collar, which is, I would say, a higher collar than your blade collar. Some people joke with me that sometimes, if I go with like an all white version of this collar on a black shirt, it looks like you're like a preacher or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. Yep. To me, I feel like it's, and I'm touching this shirt because it's so sexy. I'm sorry, guys, but it does have that feeling on you. We need like a button for like Dom to flash the Kingsmen, man. That's just
I know. Yeah,
there we go. Dude, I love these shirts.
It's so good. So taller collar, right? Signature hidden placket with the hidden buttons. And actually we changed the buttons for the new shirt. I'm wearing like one of the samples where you have like a traditional button, but we're doing snap buttons now. So it really like gives you like that really super clean look. I love the snap buttons. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
But the 18 collection is all of this style. So this is our most popular style. Nobody has a mock neck collar. Something that feels formal and casual all at once. You take all the buttons down. You got your chain out. It feels like you're chilling, like old school. And if you button it up, you feel a little bit more formal. You feel like, all right, I'm coming to the first tee. Like, here we go. Let me clean up a little bit. Let me feel a little sharper. And you can button it all the way to the top if you want. So 18 collection, in other words, is really meant to help you take it one swing at a time at each hole. Each hole is its own journey. Like when someone designs that golf course, you're thinking cohesively about the entire journey, but you're also designing something very unique for each hole. And to me, what better analogy to seasonal polos than the designers who are thinking about the entire course and how each hole is unique, the bunker placement, the elevation of the greens, the undulations, how the tee boxes stage, like working with the landscape. That could translate, I feel like, into how we think about polos. So we have some tried and true polos. We have some crew necks. We have quarter zips. We have things that, yeah, those are essentials. They should be part of your wardrobe. But when you get something from us and it's the 18 collection, oh, that's special. That is a special. And people treat it that way. People feel a certain way when they have the 18 collection. Yeah.
Like you mentioned, that's something that really nobody else is doing. And I think it's,
nobody.
I love that. Yeah. That's fantastic. So when will you plan on releasing, or how often are you going to release another piece from the collection? Because is that what number is that?
We're into number 7. This is number 7. 8 and 9 will be here in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And we'll have our front 9. So we'll have the Dandy.
That's amazing.
We'll have the Jet, the Marquez, the Purple Royale, the Duke, the cream shagreen, which was a very, very popular shirt. And now we're into the nightcap, the Purple Royale, phenomenal shirt. And then the Golden Tiger and the Blue Mosque are the next ones.
Okay. Don, if you want a couple of models, Dom and I will we'll do each hole. We'll do a new polo to kind of encapsulate the whole 18 collection, right? So we'll have Ty video. He'll video us, and each hole will switch shirts.
The big vision is we get.
I love that we're talking for 18.
But I love this. I can see it. Like, imagine you two are like part of 18 guys, and maybe, I don't know, it's just you two wearing, just changing and doing all. I love that too. 18 shirts. Like, I mean, I think what would be insane is like we're doing this podcast and we're on like 3 or 4, and the next year or 2 years from now, and we literally have our first all 18 collection.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
And we like reintroduce the capsules, right?
That's
like here. I
think we're creating something. I'm telling you,
that would be amazing, man. That would be.
I'm gonna keep that in my notes on my iPhone. That's for sure.
Okay.
We got to make that. We got to make that happen. I know it's down the road, but that would be a really cool reel for sure. For sure,
it would be very special. Yeah.
Can you tell us about what's your personal favorite piece that you've created?
Ooh. Great question. That windbreaker is special. It was really challenging to make the windbreaker. The reason it was special is because when we first came out, I had people DMing us and saying that we weren't like a real golf brand. Like the DMs when we first started were really crazy.
That is crazy.
But a lot of people felt like we weren't a golf brand because they're like, oh, people who knew me locally, they're like, dude, you're not a golfer. Back to that, like, you didn't grow up playing golf. You have, this horrible game, a horrible swing or whatever. And I had more than one person basically say, well, I don't think you're creating like golf apparel. And that was tough. I mean, that was real, but that's what I heard. And this was sometimes coming from people who had golfed their whole lives, but it's not like they were on tour or, they were college golfers per se. It was just people who had been golfing for a long time. And they're like, yeah, this isn't golf wear. This is like whatever, lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. And when I produced the windbreaker, it was a turning point because all the other guys out here who were just kind of throwing logos on polos and, kind of marketing like whatever, logos. I can just call it logos on polos. It's just like you come up with a brand, you put it on some polo off the shelf and you expect people to buy it. And I probably sound like a hater right there, but I'm not. I'm just it is what it is. That's what you do. The windbreaker was game changing because when I came up with the design and I got the fabric and I got the fit right, by that point I had started to interact with guys who were trying to compete to get on tour. And they would wear it during their practice session. And including, we had a woman who was working with us for a while who was wearing a women's version of it. And they gave us feedback and they were like, this is the best windbreaker I've ever worn while playing golf. And they've been playing since they were like 3. Like they're striving to make golf their career. It's a different animal, right? It's not recreational. Sure. Like we're just avid golfers out here, maybe even putting some money on it. It's like, no, I'm 26 and I gotta win. Like this is my career, right? And they're telling me nobody has a better product in this category. And at that point, I think I was like, you know what? This is the favorite of everything I've designed. Like I love the polos, I love the colors and the patterns and everything I've created, but to create a product where someone who is trying to be the next generation of golf feels absolutely empowered to do what they do on the daily to help promote themselves and grow their career. And to know that I led to the creation of that's powerful. So I would say the windbreaker. Yeah.
I love that jacket. I didn't tell you this, but I actually packed it for California. I had it in my golf bag.
Did you really?
I did. And in my brain, I'm like, well, God, like here in Minnesota, like it'll open up and just rain and we'll be good to go. Yeah. I'm like, well, what if that happens? I want to be prepared. Yeah. And it never rained in Southern California. I don't know if you noticed, but I got fried too. So like
you got sun. Toasted. Like, I saw you at the end of the day. I was like, oh my God, Dom.
I know, it's from flying my drone around. My ankles got sunburned. And that was like the worst part because then I had to go home or I go to my Airbnb and try to sleep. I'm like, this sucks. I don't know where Derek went, but that windbreaker, windbreaker is great. I have one. I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where
I want everybody to get that windbreaker. I literally want everybody to buy that windbreaker.
There have been instances where it's like I'm playing golf and my favorite course is up north in Minnesota by my cabin. It's a casino course. It's Fortune Bay. It's the wilderness at Fortune Bay. And we were playing one year and it just opened up and just rained. And I'm like, God, I wish I had a jacket. And then you brought out the windbreaker. I'm like, this is perfect. It's a great weight. It's super lightweight. It packs up real small. Obviously, it's not packable. Absolutely. Like it doesn't fold up into itself. But you throw it in your golf bag, you don't even notice it. So whenever I go on trips and I bring my golf bag, it's in my golf bag, just for in case. And like Derek pointed out earlier, the hood zips away. I know some people don't like stuff on their shoulders or whatever. Yeah. Clearly, I am. Yeah. I'm used to it. Yeah. So like, there's no real hood thing, but yeah, I mean that jacket it's gorgeous, and that's why like I ordered it. And you're like, God, you can either get refunded or wait, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna wait because I don't want to miss out on it.
We had to make so many more because the demand was like really crazy, and the challenge with cut and sew, Dom, is like by the time you make more, the season changes, and so the demand goes away. So they're sitting for a while. So, I mean, there are things that I know we can do better as we grow. But one thing I know that we have to do is we have to deliver the best product that we can. It's got to be a product that like people want to talk about. And if we don't do that, then, I mean, there's nothing really for us to really build on because the brand is only right now to me as strong as like the product, right? Like if the product's really good, then people start to associate that with a brand. And they're like, okay, what brand is this? Like, what brand is making me feel like this? Oh, Kingsmen. Okay. Well, I'll double check for Kingsmen next time if I remember.
I gave Ty, our videographer, and I don't know if you know Ty. Ty does 1-8 visuals. He is Roger Steele's videographer. He also is Roger Steele's caddy every now and then. Okay. That was right down the road from me in Minnesota. That's super cool. Okay. I gave him one of the polos you had sent, and he's like, is this from Kingsman? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, dude, this is like gorgeous. So he is the one of all the people playing the instruments on it. I can't remember the name.
Oh, the Duke.
The Duke.
The Duke. I didn't even name the Duke when I was going through the list of the 18. Yeah, the Duke. That's special. That pattern, doing that pattern from scratch is special.
So I gave Ty that one, and Ty was like over the moon to have something. Okay. And he's like, "Is this Kingsman?" I'm like, "It is." He goes, "Dude, this is sick." And of course, Ty, you know, strong black man. Yep. He's like, "This is great." And of course, I was like, "God, I'm hoping he wears it on media day." Of course, he wore his 1/8 visual one. Obviously, he's at work, so like it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
at work,
I can't wait for him to wear it one day. Yeah. And I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna send it straight to you. But he was thrilled to have a Kingsman polo in his collection that he could wear. So the brand has legs. You're getting out there in a very organic and way, and the correct way to go about it, right?
I hope so.
Looking back at it, would you start Kingsman again, knowing all of the stress and the sleepless nights and everything?
Wow, what a question, man. I really hope people are still listening, because that's a great question. Would I still start Kingsman all over again with everything that has been required and what's going on? Wow.
Especially with the current climate of the world and everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, because it's so different from, you know, when you started in 2020. You know, it's been a long 5 years, but also a very short 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the reason that question is so hard is because when I started the brand, the idea was legacy. That was the core of it, which meant it would carry on beyond me. And it would help other people carry on, you know, beyond, you know, maybe just themselves to the next generation. And I think it's also a hard question because as much as I love golf, I mean, you know, golf is a life sport. And I mean, we all know that, you know, some of us could get really good in a short amount of time and then you get really bad. And some of us can only marginally get better. And, you know, there's a lot of life reasons that golf could be, you know, great or could not be great. And I still love golf, but I can argue that there are days where I feel like for all the hours that maybe I've put in, there he is. Maybe I'm not as far as I want to be. Would I still start it again? Wow, so hard. Let me say this. There's a couple things I want to say. One is, you know, for me as a creative, as a designer, as an artist, I think a lot about like, if I wasn't here to do this thing, to like make this thing, would someone else come in and do it? Right? Would someone else come up with it and produce it? And so I don't know how to describe this as a creative, but there's this feeling of like, if I'm given the ability by God to do it, then I should just do it. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But my responsibility is like to go ahead and create it. Going back to like Derek asking me about the book, like I didn't write that book because I was like, oh, I'm going to be a New York Times bestseller. I'm going to be this amazing author. I wrote the book because I didn't see anything like it out there in the world. And I was like, I want to give this to people because maybe it can help people. It came from a place of like, I just really want to give something good to the world. So with Kingsman, I think what goes through my mind is like, I don't know what I would wear if I didn't have Kingsman on. So even if the company crashes and burns and fails, I would say I'm still happy I created Kingsman, and I would still do it again because I don't know what I would have worn over these past couple of years. Again, going back to confidence and going back to like, I challenge every listener to be like, give me one brand that literally says to you, like, you're just getting going in your golf journey, right? And we recognize that runs parallel with like trying to do anything in life, right? Like trying to get better at something, Duolingo, right? And it's a brand where it's like, we want to come alongside and make you feel confident, right? Back to like Lily from Duolingo, like we have to make you feel confident because you're going on a journey. And I can't think of a brand that is there for me like that. Like what brand in golf is like, hey, I'm with you as you're doing this for the rest of your life. As you're trying to get good, as you're trying to pass it maybe to your next generation, Like what brand is doing that? And until I see a brand that really is trying to do that, I can't regret the last few years. And they've been really tough. It's really, I mean, everyone knows trying to be a founder or entrepreneur is really tough, but it has been really tough to the point where like there are days where, I'm just being honest with you guys. I've wrestled with like, should I be doing this? Am I doing this for selfish reasons? Is my ego in this too much? Should I be doing something different for my family? Like I had a kid since I started the company, right? We had a kid in the past 2 years, and I'm like, is this the right thing? Like, am I going to look back and be like, well, I should have been earning a lot more money doing something else during these years? But I guess I would say, with that question, yeah, I do it again because I've met incredible people. Like I would have never met you guys, and I've met you guys. I've known a lot of incredible people. I played some amazing golf courses. I've been, able to play on like random days during the week when I know like people are like working, like really working to like earn something for their family. And I'm like on the golf course and I'm playing, and I can't believe I'm out there. And I'm around people that have generational wealth. I'm around people who have money being made for them and they can like play golf, or, they're in a position where this is lifestyle to them. It's not, I'm out there playing a round of golf like it's the best thing I can do in my life at that moment. They're playing a round of golf casually, like this is their lifestyle. And to be in that context next to somebody like that, for me, it's very exhilarating. I don't know if I would pick that back. I think it was worth doing it. Yeah. That's just sounds such like a hard question, dude. That's, God, what a question.
I resonate with that so much. I worked for the same company for 8 years. Yeah. And I'm 28, so that's like a third of my life. If you want to look at it like that, that's a long time, right? And at one point, my staff were like, "Dom, why are you here? You could make more money going somewhere else." And it's like, yeah, I could. I absolutely could have, 100%, right? But at some point, I looked at it and I was like, I felt very valued at the company. Like they're like, "Hey, how do you think we should improve?" And then they would take my feedback. And then the fact that they put me in charge at multiple different points in my life, and I'm like, there's an element of trust and faith, and just me feeling like I was wanted by them for so long. And I was like, stuff like that is hard to put like a monetary amount of money on. Could I have made more money? Yeah. Did I want to be just another corporate cog in the system? Not really. That's what I'm struggling with now, trying to find a job. It's like I don't want to end up in like a cubicle somewhere. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not quite how I envision my work life and my work. If I'm working 40 hours a week somewhere, I want to enjoy it. I don't want to be miserable. But they were like, with the closings and everything, would you take it back? And I said no. And they were all like, why not? And if I didn't work there for 8 years, I wouldn't have gotten to manage wonderful people. There was a family where I was manager for the brother, and then sent him off to college. He now has 2 degrees. He's got a master's degree from Mizzou in journalism. He's a badass sports writer, man. And then his younger sister came work for me. Same thing. Sent her off. She got a full ride to Purdue. She's going to work on airplanes. And I'm like, that wouldn't happen if I left. And then I've got, they've now graduated and now they're getting married. But I had 2 amazing women, college age girls that worked for me. And watching them just grow and struggle, and then all of a sudden they graduated, and then that weight was lifted off of them, and just showing them, hey, work can be a safe place. You can come in, you can do your homework. Just make sure you do work stuff too. Yeah. That's an experience that like you can't put a money amount on, right? Like you can't put a money amount on growth. You can't put a money amount on growing within a certain area or whatever. Yeah, it's unfortunate everything happened the way it did. But at the same time, it's like I wouldn't have had that experience if I left. And I wouldn't have met those amazing people, those amazing women, the amazing men, and the amazing companies I got to work with. I wouldn't have that experience if I left. Yeah. So you saying you would start Kingsman again without, even through all the trials, the tribulations, the tribulations, I figured you would say that, but I also, knowing you, I knew there'd be not a long-winded explanation, but a very in-depth explanation on it.
It was raw. It was raw and long-winded, but it was honest.
It's something that a lot of people are going to listen to and go, you know what? I feel the same way, and they just never thought of it. And I've had a really hard time not working because I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. I'm doing Legos like every week just to like keep my mind busy. I've been drinking, so chrysanthemum. I've got a chrysanthemum on my desk.
Not to interrupt you, fellas, but I thought I had my USB or my portable charger plugged in this whole time, and it didn't. So my battery died. So I'm almost out of time here. So I apologize.
Okay, bye.
Time goes so fast. It feels like it's been like a half an hour, and I know it's probably been like an hour. Easy.
It's like an hour and a half.
I just wanted to say that though I missed Dom's question, but it sounded like it was really deep. But I do want to. I'm a firm believer. I think everything does happen it happens for a reason. I think kind of like I was in Dom's situation several years ago. I'm much older than Dom, but I think all of that knowledge and all of that time that you were doing is going to propel you into the next career path, and I think you were doing that for a reason. You learned a lot of valuable lessons, and I think the same thing with talking about your company. I didn't hear the whole question, but if something went down to restart it, there's so many things that you can take away from what you learned, maybe the do's, the don'ts, you know what I mean? So I think, like I said, I didn't get to catch the whole thing, but I just wanted to touch base on that. And again, not to jump off and cut you guys short, but like I'm about 2% right now. I literally thought I was charging this whole time, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm like, oh no. So I had so I apologize.
Dude, but just go stand at your kitchen counter.
What?
Just go stand at. You act like I don't know where your outlets are in your apartment.
Well, I was trying to find the one that was that has the regular USB, and I have like the lightning fast one. So, but it's already at 10:30.
Oh no! There he goes. We didn't even get a chance to do I've been saving a drip, Dom, just so we can finish strong.
I've refilled this like 4 times.
Okay, we're in a good place. I'm in a great place right now. I probably can't afford anything else right now. I probably need to sell some more shirts today.
If it makes you feel better, I just ordered a polo and a shirt.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I ordered. Listen, I've got the black shirt. I've got the white shirt. I ordered the oatmeal. I ordered the nightcap polo. So.
Oh my god, dude! I'm so happy to be here today. This is so good. I had no clue that we were going to have that question. If that's the question, to kind of wrap it up, I mean, man, that was a question right there. You saved the best for the very end.
So I guess I don't know if people know kind of how we do the podcast. I don't write down questions. Really? Derek, no, I don't. Derek has his little laptop and he goes crazy with questions and everything. So generally when we sit side by side, his laptop is off to the side. So when I do these solo, I don't really have questions just because I really like the back and forth banter, the kind of the rawness of it. So no, I didn't have that written down. It just kind of was like, maybe I should ask, even though I knew the answer, but it's like, just because I know the answer doesn't mean other people won't feel some kind of love for it or go, wow, that resonates with me in a way that I didn't think it would before. Like Derek knows this. I'm not a religious person. It's not.
You mentioned that when we met in person. Yeah.
It's not quite my thing. I'm open to it, right? Like Derek found it kind of later in life. But I do firmly believe in kind of the universe putting us in places to succeed. And obviously some people would say that's God. That's fine. I think it's like the universe and just kind of how life goes. But somebody out there is going to hear that answer and go, you know what? I'm going to keep pushing. Because there's a couple companies I'm a big fan of that are like, I don't know if we can keep doing this. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. But it's like, keep pushing because it only takes one, right? Like
it does. Yeah.
Derek and I have had a lot of conversations about the podcast, and we're like, we're not growing like we thought we would. And I'm like, hey, day one, we said we want to be organic. And day one, we said, doesn't matter how long it takes. As long as we keep having fun, it doesn't matter. One clip goes viral, great. But the people that listen to us on a weekly basis are the same people that message us every week going, hey, that was great. Keep doing it. I type out Greg every week. Greg is going to fact check us. He's going to go, hell yeah. He said Ohio State, go Bucks. He's going to say boo Michigan, but he's going to use different words than that. But it comes down to kind of just that organic growth that everybody wants, but nobody wants to take the time to grow from. So obviously in your case, it's a little bit different, right? Because you have to buy all the stuff and you got to market it and you got to do X, Y, Z. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure the first time when your polo sold out, like that feeling it's like a drug.
It is. Yeah. And I think the feeling is more about like, if I am not doing it, who's doing it? I wish I saw more people who were passionate about making something that truly meant something to people. Like I think I'll say this, and then I know we probably can land the plane, but I saw this like random YouTube story on Ping and like how Ping like came to be, right? And I didn't know the story of like Ping, the like guy who like he came up with. That wasn't his name. I forget the guy's name, crazy enough, but like he came up with Ping and he came up with it in his garage, like kind of the way like I don't know, like a Wozniak and Jobs or like working on like freaking boards in their garage, right? And he came up with it and it was organic, arguably, right? Like he was making these putters for people and kept taking off. And anyway, like because of this one person kind of creating a better way to putt, like he was just like, I need a better putter. I'm going to make something. And it worked out, right? Years later, who knows how many millions over how many decades off of one guy saying, you know what, I really want to see a better putting experience. And I guess I'll call it Ping because I like the sound it makes, right? And it's just like, well, if he didn't do it, who else was going to make Ping? Like maybe someone else down the line would have come up with a different company, a different brand that has this style of putter and makes this sound and becomes a multi-million-dollar brand. Maybe, but maybe he was the guy. So I think part of it is believing like, maybe I'm creating something where it's like no one else can create that. Like it, and maybe it catches on, maybe it doesn't, but we'll never know unless you like create that thing. So for me, it's like I have to create the thing that makes me feel the most confident. And if I create that and I continue to do what I'm doing, which is I'm still playing golf, I'm still trying to figure out how to find my way in this industry. Eventually, to your point, Dom, like someone's going to be like, what about this Kingsman, man? Like, what about that? Let's do something with that. That's my hope. That's what I hope for.
Yeah, Ping was my first love with putters. That's my that's one of my golf bags. It's got some hats on it, but
away back there.
So that's a custom vessel bag. It's got a bunch of random clubs in it, but I'm pretty sure my first Ping putter is in there, and now I've switched over to I've been gaming a Mizuno, and I love it. But my Mizuno has a Ping grip because it's so good. It has the Ping pistol grip. Listen, if Tiger can put it on his Scotty, I can put it on my Mizuno. And that's exactly, I actually had it regripped at the Shindig with grips on the go. Or not grips on the go. I'm sorry.
No, cross it out.
Custom sticks.
No, custom sticks. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to make sure we get that right.
Yep, custom sticks. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, listen, if Tiger can do it, I can do it. And he goes, you're damn right, and you know golf. And I was like, hell yeah. So he threw that Ping grip on there, and it's been money ever since. But there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that don't take that step. They don't even take the first step. And it's like, well, if you don't put yourself out there, you don't know what you have.
So true.
So regardless of failure or just, being extremely successful, step one is still the same for everybody. And I commend anybody who takes that first step because it's scary. I texted Maddie a little bit ago, my friend who reads.
Yeah,
bad way of wording that, but she does read. And I said, hey, I'm just proud of you for putting yourself out there because that's not who she is at all.
Yeah, the book reviewer.
The book reviewer. It's at Batty_reads. BATTY reads.
Yeah.
And because she's not the type of person out there, she's very private. But I'm like, hey, I'm proud of you.
Yourself out there.
I'm like, hey, I'm proud of you for taking that step because a lot of people are like, no, that's stupid. I won't do that. But it's like, if you like it, do it. You like designing clothes and you like golf. That's a pretty easy thing to get into, but you also don't like putting logos on polos and putting it on the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's a bar.
It is. It's a great bar. Honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, the one thing I know I don't regret is putting myself out there and putting the brand out there. And, if people want to throw stuff at that, to me, it's fine because at least I put myself out there. And like, that's the issue right now is like, everybody is in a way just trying to like feed off of like what someone else is doing, right? Like we're all trying to chase like influencers and chase like whatever somebody else is already doing. And I think it's better to like put yourself out there sincerely. I'm grabbing the check here just because I know I need to behave, but El Campo, I think it was Campo Golf, Campol, Campo, threw the L in there because the tequila. Campo. I met the guy at the Vincente, and I loved it. Like I didn't even need to know about the product. I love the brand. Why? Because I felt immediately connected to like him reaching into his legacy, reaching into his culture and his history and his personal family story. And it's like he's offering me something. Like if he was selling tequila, I would immediately buy a bottle of tequila. Like if he could have been selling scarves and I would have been like, I'll buy a scarf. Why? Because what he offered to me right in that moment was like, I felt invested in something that was deeply meaningful to him. And I feel like that is the difference between us and like so many other brands out here that are just like, I have a logo, I put it on the shirt. I have a bunch of guys who are my buddies who we have this golf, whatever, club, group, community. And it's like buy our stuff. And it's like, I get that. I get that you're trying to monetize that. And that's cool. But like, why not like just connect with brands that are just coming from guys who are like, listen, we're just trying to create something that's coming from the heart that can work for everybody. So I think that's the difference, Dom. It's like we're getting customers who are like, yeah, that's cool. I'll take your shirt that has like, hey, I got 100 shirts with a bunch of logos from all the clubs. But at the end of the day, my Kingsman polo, that means something because the founder is trying to create a brand that means something.
So I'll leave you at this.
Okay.
I don't know if you've listened to the Campo episode or not, but Chente's
just a little bit left too. Yeah,
I got a little. Chente's big inspiration is John from Buena Gente, and it even goes down to Chente's logo or little ball marker. If you look, I felt, and I told him, I'm like, dude, I feel so bad opening this because the packaging is beautiful, and I'd say the same thing to John about his because the back of his is an ingredient list, and it's beautifully packaged, and Chente's logo is a frame. And obviously his ball marker is a sugar skull, which in the Mexican heritage and community is super significant. It's such a great significance to him and his family, his ancestors. And Campo means field. And he has it named Campo because golf is for everybody, just like a field is for everybody. That man,
so good.
That was the first time we met him in person as well.
Yeah.
He was like the nicest person, and was just so happy to be there, just like you were. Again, watching him talk about his brand and his company and being local is exactly what we wanted to do. And that's why what we want to do there. Obviously, you're not local, but you're still in SoCal. San Diego's not too far away. Obviously you did it, but his company deserves all the love because it's him. It's him putting himself out there. He just has hats and ball markers, and it's so beautifully made. And his story needs to be told by more people, just like the Kingsman story. Chente is one of those dudes who I guarantee you, if you message him tonight, he'd be thrilled to just sit there and talk to you because it happens to me. I'll shoot a message and it's just hours later, we're still chit chatting. The nicest man, and his logos are great. Same thing with John from Buena Gente. I cannot say enough good things about John. I have so many of his hoodies. Ralph tried to steal one of my hoodies, and I was like, absolutely not happening. And he texted me, he's like, hey, what size is that hoodie? I really like it. And I was like, hey, it's this size. He goes, it's sold out. I'm like, that's too bad. You can't have mine. There's so many great companies, and they all have the one thing in common that you have in common. You put yourself out there. You took that first step. And to anybody listening still, congrats, I guess. Get you a cookie or like a gold sticker.
You'll come have a drink with us. Yeah.
But if you want to and you want to try it, you just got to do it. The beauty of Derek not being here is Derek was afraid to put himself out there on the pod. He's like, I don't know if I want to have my face out there, because Safe Bar is not really his face in it. And I said, the only way for us to grow and for us to connect with people is to have our faces out there. Good, bad, ugly. Somebody's going to go, we really appreciate seeing you guys talk or hearing you guys talk about whatever. And if we impact 2 people, perfect. Great. We did what we set out to do. And
what we're supposed to do.
I kept saying I'm so proud of Maddie. I'm so proud of Derek for putting himself out there as well, because he did it at an older age where it's a little bit harder. But now people walk up to him and he just lights up, where before that wasn't going to happen. So moral of the story, put yourself out there. Good things may happen, bad things may happen, but the good is going to outweigh the bad.
But yours, there it is.
That's a fancy glass.
It is a fancy glass for a fancy last sip.
God, I love tequila.
Ooh, Fortaleza.
Yeah, that one was that one kicked a little bit, a little warm.
It kicked a little bit. This was amazing. I should definitely start heading towards the door in a little bit once I get some water. But I'm so grateful. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. That's the check. That's the start of the.
I know. I drank.
So happy.
I drank a lot.
Oh my goodness!
This wasn't full.
You're in your room, though.
I am. I'm gonna roll over.
I almost came out, man, to Minnesota. I was like this close. I think next year I need to come out for 3M.
I mean, let's plan it. We can get you in.
I think we need to. I think it's going to be special. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we can get you in. We have. I set it up so we get media passes every year, so Derek and I can go all week. And the 3M is very generous with us, and they're like, "Hey, do you guys want to have a guest? If so, who?" And we can see if we can get them a ticket. So it won't be hard to get you. It wouldn't be hard to get you a ticket. You'd have to get your own travel and everything.
Yeah, of course.
They're not gonna do that, but we can definitely get you in pretty easily. I know. Darius, I believe Darius Feaster messaged me today, and he's from Vibes Golf. I don't know if you follow them. That's Melvin Gordon's company.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're coming out for the weekend. Would love to reconnect with you guys. So we're trying to meet up with Vibes again, and they're good people. No way, Darius. We haven't met Melvin, but we've met a lot of the other dudes, and that's another great crew. And they're from around here. They all went to school in Wisconsin.
Crazy. I feel like there could be a really good crowd that would come out. So, yeah. Okay. Let's start winding it down, Don. Get ready to go home. It's been a long day. It's It's been an amazing time. We've had some good sips together today. Even we outlasted Derek. He did call it out. He said we were going to go longer, going to go a little deeper into the waters together. So we did.
I gotta drink some water. I've had a lot of these.
You know what? I should probably grab some water on the way out. So, thank you for the shirt purchase. I'll be excited to see that. And if there's anything we can do special for the people that listen to this episode and stick with at least 20 minutes of it, if not the whole thing, I mean, I would love to do something for them. So,
technically we're still recording, so you tell me what you want to do, and I'll put it into the bio. Maybe you want to do like
this is crazy. This is crazy. I think what we should do, because we talk so much about the windbreaker is my favorite. We still have some sizes left, not a lot. But what we'll do is, if they buy one of the t-shirts, this is a crazy, crazy deal. Buy one of the t-shirts. Don't shoot me, Dom, because I got to check with my admin. But if buy one of the t-shirts, let's do half off on a windbreaker.
Okay.
Because I want people to have that windbreaker. I know it's a little scary to pay $100 for a windbreaker for a brand that you don't know, a product that you don't know. But like, I know there's people who listen to these episodes, who love what you guys are doing, love the conversations. They trust you guys, and you guys open the doors for brands like ours. So let's do the t-shirt, because I feel like you flashed it a few times. It looks so good on you. I know it feels like $1 million into that Carhartt, which also feels like another $1 million. So you're feeling,
these are expensive hoodies, dude.
You're feeling absolutely exquisite right now. Buy a t-shirt. We'll do a windbreaker for half off, and I'll just figure it out with my team tomorrow. They'll probably be like, "Don, you had too much tequila," but like, let's just do it for everybody who's like listening and gets to this point in the episode. So yeah. Now my battery is gonna go. So this is it. Obviously, we're like 5%. Dom, thank you. Tell Derek I said thank you too.
Absolutely. Also, I texted my mom. Yeah. So my mom, her name's Jackie. Everybody calls her Jake Quellen because she's a teacher.
Jake Quellen.
So she loves Key and Peele. She's a teacher, so she loves Jake Quellen. She says, tell him I said hello and loving his teas. So my mom says hi, and she loves her shirts.
Amazing. 5 stars. It's so cool.
So cool.
That's so cool. It's your mom bought the t-shirt. I'm like, who is this? All right, I should stop. We should stop down because we're going to keep going. Love you, brother. I'm sure we're going to see each other soon. All right. Can't wait to see this episode. All right.
Absolutely.
I would say get home safe, but you're there. We're just going to roll over.
Dude, it's the beauty.
I gotta call a car.
I'm just gonna roll over and pass out and take a gummy and just like die for a few hours.
Dude, we need an episode just on gummies. My goodness, man, gummies are saving us.
I've been staring.
We'll leave it low. We'll leave it. All right, I'm gonna go. Dom, thank you. Appreciate you so much, bro. All right, thank you. All right, we'll talk soon.
See you later.